Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Synergy of the Rose, a spirituality channel for predominantly us women. Men are welcome to join us as well, but a lot of our topics will be geared towards the divine feminine. And this week it's going to be about shamanism. In the intros, I actually talked about the difficulties with coming to terms with the shaman within me, coming to terms with really stepping into ownership. And when I say ownership, I mean that loosely. I'm not the owner. If anything, it's the other way around.
Right.
But it's actually acknowledging and embracing, it's probably a better word, embracing the energies and lineages that I am working with. And Sylvia has had a message from Spirit that I'm going to leave her to share with you, which is why we've come back to shamanism.
Yeah, so when you were actually talking about your shamanism part, a message came through and they really wanted for you to hone in on shamanism because you feel as you are a bit of an imposter, that you don't have permission because of the way you look. And what came through was the fact that because so many have been lost in centuries and people are not being born as they were expected to be born. There's not a lot of people being born that can carry on this, but this still needs to come to light. They're grabbing anybody from any part of the planet, as long as there's a lineage in you, you're gonna have that ability. And they want to let you know, come out, and they're blessing you to come out and letting you know that it's time for you to be okay with this. And I'm getting shivers right now because I feel like the energy is
yeah,
they're so happy of this. And I know some people are but that's very respectful, we need to be very respectful. And I want you guys to know that right now it is not about the human body, and I want you to close your eyes and understand that this is just like a casket. This is what we're born into. And when there goes so much into what human body that it goes into, we're talking about spirit and energies and the lineage. And if you have that in you and your ancestors, there's this one ancestor that's in there, and they're gonna find someone in your family tree that will have that. It doesn't matter if it was 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago. It's gonna come through because it needs to be brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the message that came in, is that pushing, and I was almost bumped out, just say it, interrupt her. But I want you to finish.
Yeah, it is difficult because, as I said, I did struggle with that whole topic and it held me back. And I think this is why the message came in for Sylvia so strongly. We're doing this podcast, we're doing this as YouTube to begin with, and then we will be doing a podcast version of. But we have been guided to start the second channel, and as it's already transpiring, the messages are going to come through. There are a lot of natural healers out there that are not stepping into that aspect of themselves because of programming, because of being called witches, because of past life persecution, because of cultural appropriation. In the case of, I mean, I've hampered my own, and this is what I need to get across. I've hampered my own growth when it comes to the shamanism, because I struggled, my ego struggled, because I didn't want to be inappropriate. I didn't want it to be an ego thing, even though the messages were coming through very clearly. The energies come through very clearly. The work I do, even I sit there, I allow my body to be the vessel, and even I'm going, oh, fuck.
Yes.
I'll be honest. And
yeah.
It's not about us. And I think that's what Spirit through Sylvia was trying to say. It's not about us. If you are connecting to these energies, if you have been gifted these abilities, if those lineages exist in you and they want to work with you, then do the work so that you can step out of your own way. And there are lots and lots, as I said, I contacted, and I could have done it sooner had I thought about it, had I known about it, had I known that the native tribes were so open to it.
Yes, and they are.
You know, it's only through contact was I able to kind of go, I can put that cultural appropriation down now, that blockage of cultural appropriation, I can put that down, I can let it go. Once I spoke to a tribal elder, and they are open to it, they are happy because they're getting the same messages. They know that blonde, blue-eyed, I'm not blue-eyed, but you know, the blonde, blue-eyed, anything is further away from what we think is Native American, are going to be coming to them and saying, this is happening to me. And you can check in with them, and they will do a meditation with you, they will do a journey with you, and they will actually, well, in my case, what we actually did is we journeyed together. And we had exactly the same, because we journeyed together and then we journaled and then we shared what we'd written before we were spoken. There was no, oh, well, you could be saying that because you heard that, blah, blah, blah. No, we journeyed together and we went to the same plane. We went to the same time in the past, and we got the same information. And that gave me the validation that I needed. I could have done that 2 years ago or 3 years ago. 4 years even.
I remember you mentioning a couple years ago about how you would be getting this calling to go towards New Mexico, Arizona area. There was a particular tribe there. You were asking me about it, and I said, I don't know too much because I'm more of California, north part of Mexico. But I can ask. So this was actually, this wasn't like I just woke up and I'm going to be this. This has been years now, and for you to finally come to this point in your life. That's why they were pushing you, because they feel, they were saying you're still not there. You still have a little bit of doubt, and like you want to ask for permission. and there's more like you as well, where they feel like, well, they're gonna look at me and they're like, what do you know? And they were saying, no, we need to realize that energy, that blessing is there for you, and to come out and own it. And like you said, it's not an ownership of the practice. It is you as a person, your own truth, your own ownership of your truth. Like you said. I
think that's what they were like. Much out there about, I mean, there's so much with the whole imposter syndrome. So it's the stories that, you know, in the programs, the stories that we tell ourselves, and also the whole dynamic. So let's be honest, if you go online, every man and their dog's a shaman, but how many of them are actually really tapping into those energies, really tapping into those lineages, really doing the work? Because spirituality has become such a market now, which is an awful thing to say because it shouldn't be about that at all, but it has become, I hate to say it, the American dream, and that whole commercialism is kind of gone, oh, that's making a trend, and so there's a lot out there. And so as a person that is getting this information in, and there's lots and lots of other healers out there that are getting this information in, it's like, oh, do I, don't I? Because you don't want to be on that train.
Well, you don't want to be insensitive, because you have been told over and over that's not for you, and you shouldn't be doing that, you know. So I think that plays a huge part. And I know growing up with, you know, in tribes, and I would go to see the healer. It wasn't ever about you as a person. It was a part of your destiny, and if it's already written in your destiny, that there's nothing anyone can say. They can come at you and say whatever they want, but if it's part of your destiny, you just have to follow. And that's probably part of it why a lot of people are very anxious and they're not truly living to their full potential because there's something in your destiny that you are not being true because you're fearful. What are they going to say? Or they're gonna, so there goes so much that you're being programmed, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we are like going through a period where this needs to come back. We are being attacked through social media in so many ways. They see this as this is a good way to make money. And quite honestly, if the history of shamanism and as well as healers, it's always about you need to do the work because that is what it was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's and then you have another job because that's not the monetary that goes into it because your job is to heal. You need to bring that. And most of the healers, most of the shamans, they have another job. Back in the days, the village would take care of them. And so we both work differently, but right now I think what really needs to come out, and for anyone who's going through this, it's step up and go little by little, find out where you can go, like you, to get feel like I'm going through this and I'm feeling this and I'm having these messages come in and I want to make sense of it. Can you help me? And start working your path, and you'll see how.
And drop comments in the box below. We're quite happy to have a chat with you. We're quite happy to point you in the direction. We'll quite happily help you. If you feel that if you're connecting to lineages and you don't fully understand it, then we'll be quite happy to do work with you. Because that was the other aspect of it is, as Sylvia said, we have these programs that are holding us back. Because we are healers, we're usually highly sensitive. And because we're highly sensitive, we have been put down and put down and put down and put down and put down from a very, very early age that is eroded for a lot of people, their confidence, their self-esteem, their self-worth, their self-value. And that's where the healing, do that work on yourself, really bust through those and really start to build those back up. And then you'll be able to step into it. There's lots and lots of things that can be done. But if you're struggling, if you resonate with what we're saying, if you feel like you're one of these people and you're struggling to step up, as Sylvia said, and that's exactly what it is Spirit wants us all to step up, put a comment in the box below. Let us help you, or at least let us kind of point you in the right direction so you can get the help that you actually need.
Yep. So I think that we can wrap it up there.
Perfect.
Till next time, and remember to subscribe so we can bring more content to you, do comments, and don't forget to follow us. And remember, we're still also doing all the cards on the table. So, till next time.
Don't forget about the other channel.
Yeah.
Because that's all about relationships, and that's a very important aspect of the work that we're doing, even within spirituality. So bye-bye from us.